Okay, I got my Kaamos pedal. I want to show everybody how I intend on using this and give you an example of some of the sounds you can get. I'm going to go ahead and break your heart right now. I have no intention on doing a 2-hour video showing how to use this thing in its full functionality. If you want one and you like the sounds you hear, I'd tell you just to go after it. This thing can do way more than I'm using it. I'm not using the effects loop in it at all. I'm basically using it going in series from front to back, straight to the next pedal. I didn't have the cable to use the effects loop, to be fair. And to be honest, it's not that big a deal to me. I'm trying to use it kind of like I normally use an octaver anyway. In total, the reason why I bought this is I'm trying to replace my octaver on my board, and I've been using the MXR vintage bass octave for years, and it's a great system. And my intention is to make like a bass microsynth out of this and use it like that. My B1K stays on all the time as kind of like my normal tone, a little bit of grit there. And I want to use the Kaamos as a little fuzz. And I've kind of settled on some settings here that sound like it's going to work for that. And most of my settings here are so I don't have a huge gain stage increase whenever I kick on these pedals in a row. You will hear some volume difference, but it's not going to be drastic with the way I've got it set. So I figured I'd show you my dry tone, then my affected tone, and then go through the Kaamos and see what we get from there. So here's my Dingwall D-Rock 5 middle pickup, kind of like a P-bass, straight through the Noble. And it is a 5-string. Here's the B1K setting that I would typically play it with. Little pick action too. But I do use it for accents. A little bit of the filter twin so you can hear how that's used and how I use it. I don't use it as a funk pedal, I use it for a pick pedal. There you go. So I'm going to turn off the B1K, let you hear just the fuzz on the Kaamos and give you an idea of what that's going to sound like, how I have it set and how I'd use it. Here's my normal fingerstyle tone. Same thing with the pick. Now I'm going to add the B1K on top of that. Twin and two. Getting pretty cool there. All right, so let's see what the octaver sounds like on the Kaamos, how I have it set. And I have it set, just so you know, settings here, they're kind of hard to see in the lighting. The clean level is at 9, the octave filter is all the way to the right, and the octave level is about 3 o'clock. And I have it set on parallel setting for the octaver and the distortion, and I have the left setting on the octave filter. So here's the octave filter by itself. I'm gonna play a little bit higher so it tracks better. Let me add the B1K on that. So let's add the Kaamos fuzz piece to it with the B1K off, so you just hear that sound. That's a killer. Let me add the B1K to it so you can hear that. The filter twin on top of that. Yeah, so there's a lot going on there, and a lot of ways to build some interesting layers instead of just having one drive signal. I now have two, and with the pick, here's some of that combined too again. thing on the octaver. Yeah, so this thing slays, and I think the tones I'm gonna get with it are gonna be pretty good. Again, you're gonna have to play with it and figure out what you like. So far, so good. I think this thing is gonna be the bass Microsynth Slayer. That's my 2 cents. They're not cheap, but I will say, you know, Darkglass makes good stuff, man. There's a reason why those guys are hanging around. If I'm gonna use this in a service, I'm probably gonna make sure my gain stages and check with the decibel meter just to see how much of a gain stage jump I'm getting and try to minimize that as much as possible. But so far, so good. If you like it, check it out. Kaamos pedal, Darkglass.